Hey fight fans, today in this video, many fans of Khamzat Chimaev were disappointed when they found out that the recent back and forth between him and Gilbert Burns on social media did not lead to a rematch at a UFC event in 2023. The return of Khamzat Chimaev remains one of the most talked about MMA news stories in the game today, so it seems like he's only one more victory away from booking a place in a 5-round title fight. But as time goes on, it is becoming clear that there is only one frontrunner in the race for Borz' next opponent. Also later on the video, we are going to see why former UFC middleweight champion Robert Whittaker claims that Khamzat Chimaev could be a terrible opponent for Colby Covington. Undefeated UFC welterweight Khamzat Chimaev believes that the fight with Covington will actually be easier for him than the fight with Burns. And then at the end of the video, we are going to see why many people think that Khamzat Chimaev is an overrated fighter. Is he really? Well, we're going to discuss that. Also later on the video, we are going to see Islam Makhachev, if all goes according to plan within the next year or so. But many fans believe that this fight will never take place because they won't fight each other. However, as you remember, Chimaev has repeatedly stated that he came here to kill everyone. It doesn't matter who it is. But before we start the video, we do have a really big request. Please do not forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much in advance. Now, as we already said, many fans of Khamzat Chimaev were disappointed when they found out that the recent back and forth between him and Gilbert Burns on social media did not lead to an immediate rematch. But as you remember, Gilbert Burns lost competitively on points. However, Khamzat insists that he fought stupidly and he wants to prove that he is actually much stronger than Burns in a rematch. But so far, the details have not been worked out yet. But looking forward, there is still very interesting fights. Recently, the president of the UFC, Dana White, announced that on March 5th at UFC 285, we can expect two huge fights. Leon Edwards versus Kamaru Usman for the title, and the top two in the welterweight division, Colby Covington and Khamzat Chimaev, will be having a bloody showdown between themselves.
Khamzat wants to fight at 170.
Okay.
I'm going to give him one more opportunity to fight at 170. He needs to deliver and make the weight, and I would love to do that fight in England.
At 170 pounds and against Colby Chaos Covington, this fight will be absolutely ridiculous because, come on, if there's anyone out there that's going to stop the wrestling of Khamzat Chimaev, it could be Colby Covington.
Now, Colby Covington may have gone 0-2 to the former champ Kamaru Usman, but his stock within the 170-pound mix remains as strong as ever. And with both men sitting at the very top of the division, it seems like a total no-brainer to put these two in a pay-per-view main event. Now, it's not just the trash talk that also is going to make this one awesome. Chimaev's wrestling has been totally successful so far in his career, but Colby Covington is not the type of fighter that's going to allow him to just use it any way you want. And given that he does have extensive 5-round experience and some of the best cardio in the game, there is a real chance here that Khamzat may be forced into a long stand-up war. Now, of course, the power advantage will be on his side, but given his lack of experience, it will be interesting to see how Khamzat holds up when it's round 3 or 4 or maybe even 5, and Colby is still right there in his face. And at that point, if Chimaev does tire out, you best believe that Colby will start talking some major trash and putting Khamzat in a position that he himself has put so many fighters in over the years. Having a wild and quick start in his game plan may also allow Colby to catch Chimaev before he gets into rhythm. But right now, a lot of analysts believe that dragging him into the later rounds will actually be the most dependable path to victory.
Colby Covington good is the fact that he has a gas tank. That's what it is. His spirit of American-style wrestling with the gas tank that he has, and I think that's what really makes Colby Covington dangerous. Not just his mouthpiece, and that's another piece that we can add. His ability to talk smack and to be able to deliver every time that he does fight. Just only now when there's actually belts. This is a 5-round fight, man. I almost want to lean towards Colby Covington because as we saw in that Gilbert Burns fight with Khamzat Chimaev, I'm not sure if Khamzat Chimaev could ever make 170 pounds.
Chimaev recently stated that, "I think the fight with Colby will be much easier than with Gilbert, because in the fight with Gilbert, I was fixated on knocking him out, forgetting about the fight plan and time. However, I am glad that the fight turned out this way because it teaches you to be smarter, and next time I will think a few times before doing stupid things and running after an opponent." Now, it is pretty easy to see why people think that Covington could be the kryptonite for Chimaev, and why many Americans are hoping that their fighter brings the hype train to a major halt. But that's not the only side to this story. In the eyes of former UFC middleweight champ Robert Whittaker, Khamzat could serve as a terrible matchup for Colby. He talks about Colby's battle with Kamaru Usman as proof, claiming that the American falls back on subpar striking whenever he can't get the fight to the ground. And we all know who would have the power advantage in those stand-up exchanges. Colby is known for extreme volume and combination, but if Khamzat cracks you clean, there is a good chance you are going to be left with some real trouble on your hands. For now, after the disaster that was UFC 279 Fight Week, it does seem as though Chimaev's future will lie in the 170-pound division, at least for now. It's clear that the dude wants the welterweight title badly, so let's just hope that there's no more crazy weight issues that plague him over the next few fights. But if Khamzat does move up to the middleweight division, a fight with Robert Whittaker probably won't be the first thing on his mind. If he's not able to jump straight in there with the champion Alex Pereira, it does look like Boers could find a worthy dance partner in former title challenger Paulo Costa. Costa has been pretty vocal lately about how unimpressed he has been with Chimaev in recent months. And according to the Brawler, he and his team actually tried to see just how willing Khamzat was to take another dip into the 185-pound rank. According to Costa, the Chechen's team made it clear that the fighter would be focused on winning the belt at 170 pounds. Khamzat's heavy wrestling style has allowed him to blast through some of the very best welterweights on the planet. But the question that a lot of fans have now is, just how successful would he be if he actually faced someone like Costa? And there was no argument that for a while Paulo should in fact be fighting at 205 pounds after a few issues that he has had on the scales. But if he could make 185 for a fight against Khamzat Chimaev, let us know in the comments down below how you think that fight would play out. But we haven't finished yet. Chimaev could also find himself in a crazy super fight with another insanely talented wrestler, Islam Makhachev, if all goes according to plan within the next year or so. But many fans believe that this fight will never take place because they won't fight each other. However, as you remember, Chimaev has repeatedly stated that he came here to kill everyone. It doesn't matter who it is.
Who would you like to see next when you step into the octagon?
Everybody. I come here for everybody. Kill everybody. I'm the champ. I'm the king.
Islam Makhachev is well and truly sitting on top of the world right now. And if he is successful in defeating the pound-for-pound #1 Alexander Volkanovski, he himself has stated that he is not against the idea of moving up to 170 pounds. If Khamzat can find his way to a world title before then, we could be setting up one of the craziest stylistic matchups in UFC history. Would it be the overbearing physical strength and drive of the natural welterweight? Or would it be the watertight technical mastery of the smaller Islam? The Volkanovski fight will teach us a lot about Islam, and judging off of his own physical strength and success across many different weight classes, it doesn't seem like a jump up to 155 pounds is going to be much of an issue for the featherweight king. But Islam has been counted out before, many times actually, and over the last few years, he has achieved nothing but near perfect success. Both guys are stars on a global level and are capable of filling up any arena, especially when it comes to the European or Middle Eastern venues. We would probably have to wait and see Chimaev in there with Colby and maybe even the winner of Leon Edwards versus Kamaru Usman before this fight could ever happen. But if Chimaev doesn't opt for a move to middleweight, the stage could be set for a collision of two future legends in MMA. So let's keep our fingers crossed for this one. And that is all for today. What do you think about all of this? Write your thoughts down in the comments and do not forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching.